Hello. It's been a week, and I'm still not as prepared as I thought I was. Okay, well, today is a very special episode, and by very special, I mean it's no different than any other one, except it has a small news portion before we get to the meat and potatoes of the stream. Before we start, we have, if you remember last time, we had a sponsor. It was Pringles, but today we got a different one. But before I mention the sponsor, we're here today with Sir AOA and Commander Tano. We got two more coming at some point. But yeah, how are you guys doing today?
Doing pretty good.
Pretty well.
Even though I can't tell if I'm in the middle of winter or summer right now.
Oh, that sounds fun. Not being able to tell.
Well, I mean, I was pretty much yesterday. I was pretty much walking around with shorts and shirts on, which is like one pair of shorts and shirts. And now the weather decides to be cold and a whole lot of rainy.
That sounds like fun. Which I know all about cold rain. Cold and rain. Cold and rainy. I can't speak English. And I live here in America. Okay, so go ahead, Sir AOA, and tell us about the sponsor that we have today.
Yes, today's sponsor for the Force Collective is Tatooine Skincare Cream. If you find yourself with the potential to be burned by harsh radiation, just start using this product and you too could walk around at double noon with no worries. If you need proof on how well Tatooine Skincare Cream works, just look at how white most of the humans are. Some of them are as pale as Force ghosts. They really should look like roasted porks. And does this product last? Of course it will. It will last an entire harvest season. Not a human? No worries. This product will work with any species that has skin to burn. So if you don't want to look like a stormtroopers have burnt you to death, get Tatooine Skincare Cream now at your nearest Jawa Sandcrawler retailer. Will not protect you from magma. Back to you, Shade.
I'm so glad you did that. I love that. I know a couple people that could have used that. So, Aunt Brew, Uncle Owen. I had to add that in at some point. You know, I mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, but hang on. Were they actually burnt by radiation?
I mean, you don't know. I mean, who knows what they were burned with? I mean, all we could tell is that they were laying on the ground outside their little hut, and I mean, they could have been sunbathing, but the suns might have been so the suns might have been so intense with heat that they just burned to a crisp. I mean, who knows? Who knows what happened? I have no idea. Anyway.
Only the stormtroopers know.
Yes, only they would know. Maybe they're the ones that did it, but who knows? I mean, there's probably actually a lore, or a piece of lore that tells us about that. I don't know. I used to be a lot better with the lore, and it's been a long time. I should probably get back into it. But that would probably be Legends, though, wouldn't it? Because I don't think they've talked about it in current canon.
Well, it would be now deemed Legends, yeah, because unless it's, specifically said by Disney, you're not gonna get it.
That's true. All right, so we have a small segment that we want that we're going to use today. It's Star Wars news. We we just wanted to talk about some current happenings with the Acolyte that we've been hearing about, and hence the thumbnail, because it is a little concerning. And which Sir AOA knows a little more about it than I do, because I've not been able to really like read the articles because of my job today, and Sir AOA can attest to this because he was on a call with me while I was working.
No, I wasn't. What are you talking about?
Well,
just in case your employees are listening,
hey,
I've got no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, how many employees know that I do this though? I don't think many of them know. I don't look. There's nobody that I know of besides Chrono and maybe a couple others that I do know, but that don't work here, that do watch these. So I doubt that they're going to say anything. Why are we talking about this? I'm safe, okay?
Okay.
Deal with it.
Deal with it.
Deal with it. We're safe. Oh, look. Hello there. It's great to have you, Chrono. But before I go on, I have to respond with the proper response to a hello there.
General Kenobi.
You can't be a Star Wars fan if you don't at least do that. So, or at least a prequel Star Wars fan. Anyway, now on to the actual news. So, actually, I'll let you start off with it. Go ahead, Sir AOA. You know more about this little topic than I do. Go ahead.
Well, hang on 5 seconds. I'm just going to quickly...
5 seconds. 1, 2,
5.
There we go.
5. Okay, yep. Time's up.
If you want, you can.
Oh,
I've just shared the window with the article on it.
Okay, nice. Good idea.
Hang on a second. Can I just? Yay! There we go. This was an article that was released by the AV Club, and if you guys haven't, if you guys don't know who this person, well, the person on screen is Leslie Headland, who's the showrunner for the Acolyte TV streaming show. I don't know if you would call it TV show, but
it's just a show.
the show on Disney Plus. Now, this person was given this opportunity to create the show from Kathleen Kennedy, and one of the big reasons why this was such a big thing was because it was done essentially without Disney's blessing, which I think was probably given retroactively. But yeah, this article was released, and if you guys have been following the YouTube channel Midnight's Edge, Cameron Pasha, who is a regular there, who's their sort of like inside guy at Midnight's Edge, he pretty much went, yeah, no, this is just a fluff piece that's solely being fluffed by Miss Headland, and not so much Disney or Lucasfilm. But yeah, this article, a few people pulled a few things from it that were a few interesting things. But the one thing that I could definitely say about this article was that it was definitely an absolute fluff piece. I don't think it was as damning as a lot of people on Twitter were making it out to be. But there were a few interesting things. A lot of it was just the AV Club going, hey, Leslie, what do you think of Star Wars and how good it is type situation. And her giving her Star Wars cred. I don't know how much that really means, but hey. But the big sort of, I think the big take away, and I probably should have highlighted this beforehand. Um,
Dang it, I was muted. I was trying to say, I was trying to say that it seems like somebody is less prepared than I am, but then I was already muted and I can't talk now, so I messed up my joke. Dang it.
Well, pretty much as I continue to try and find it, one of the things she said was that that Star Wars was always political.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to find now, and I'm having a lot of trouble finding it.
Yes, but not in the way people who say it's political think it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was.
Megatana would say it's apolitically political.
Well, the thing is that there's a difference between something being political and something being political and something being the stage. Well, sorry.
Yeah.
There's something being political, and then there is something where the politics is just the stage for the characters to play in, but not the story. There we go. Found it. Yeah. So this was pretty much what Headland was saying. But when I go on social media, the feedback is don't make Star Wars political. I'm like, George made it political. Those are political films. War is by nature political. That's just what's up. It's truly what he was interested in talking about and looking at and digging into. And that's completely bloody wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about the whole political part, but it's truly what he was interested in talking about and looking into and digging into. And there's actually another article that we'll be looking into that, well, actually, frankly, says the exact opposite to that one statement. So,
one thing.
Okay.
Oh, I was saying one thing that's interesting about that statement she makes, and once again, like maybe I'll try to be generous. Maybe I'm inferring more than she's inferring here, but I kind of see it as falling into the typical camp of people like, Star Wars is political, i.e., why are you all, complaining about Canto Bight or, stuff like that in the sequels. But what I find interesting is she makes that statement, and yet in another part in that article, it's in one of those parts where the interviewer keeps asking about, well, about diversity and representation, are we going to see this or that, in the series? And she defers that, and I think that the answer is probably no. But she talks more about representation in the sense of, I don't know, there's that remark Mark Hamill made when someone was asking, like, if Luke was gay, and he said, well, if you feel that he is, then he is for you, basically. That's what he said. And what I do appreciate what I do appreciate about that take on Star Wars is that Star Wars is more of this canvas, and you can bring what you want to that canvas in your interpretation of it. It's a bit different versus what I feel like a different. It's a subtle distinction, but I think it's a very different kind of vision of creativity and presenting art and politics versus what I think what you've gotten from Disney and the sequels, which is no, we are going to decide what's going to be on this canvas, and you have to accept that, and interpretation. Versus, I think when George Lucas is doing politics, I think it's in the sense that it is looking at, especially with the prequels, looking at war and how states become totalitarian and such, but it's written in such a way that you can fill in the blanks. It doesn't make some statement like, to be like, this contemporary political party is the empire and this one's a rebellion. It's like you could in your own head make those out to be whatever you want.
But I mean, the thing is that, and this is definitely sort of a discussion with when it comes to the prequel, is that the politics was almost, it was decoration. It wasn't the story. It was what the characters were interacting with,
Yes.
but it wasn't the thing driving the characters.
And it was very, and what you had was very generic. It wasn't, you could count on it that it would age well, as opposed to if you get politics in Star Wars that, that seems like it's like, oh, I can see you think this group of people matches up to this actual real group of people that we see. And, and it's
the leader of the enemy is Trump.
Yes.
If you want to put it so bluntly, yes.
Yeah.
Also, I just felt like I should share this real quick. So Anna, that Star Wars girl, once said, the big difference is those Star Wars politics are not real world politics; they're projected into the movies. I think I read that right.
Well, I mean, the thing is that, if you look at the prequels, you had the Confederacy. Now, were they actually acting like the Confederacy in the American Civil War? No.
The other thing is, like, I definitely think with the prequel universe, yes, I think Lucas is trying to say something about wars and more generally emergencies that are manufactured by elites to gain control over large groups of people. But in terms of that manufactured emergency, like, you could think like, oh, is he, you could think of a number of wars and, real world wars and crises that you could kind of plug into that story, and that would make sense. But that's Absolutely. What's great about it, is that there are so many different ones that you could do. It isn't say just one, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Also, I'm sorry to interrupt because this is really good, but Nick, we got the Bounty Hunter Network here now. How you doing, buddy? I'm
doing good, everyone. I tried to come on last week, but everyone else was already in. So, but I'm glad to be here. Is it? I saw it's talking. What is this? Talking about like LGBT? I saw something.
Hang on a second. What are we reading? This article.
Yeah, we're talking about this particular article about the showrunner for the Acolyte.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people have been talking about it lately.
Yeah, well, she was Harvey Weinstein's former assistant. I mean, I don't know. I've heard about her. I've heard she's very political. Like, I don't know. Like, she might. But this is based in the High Republic universe too. So
near the end of it,
right? Am I correct about that?
Yeah, yes. Near the end of it. It's near the end of the High Republic era.
So wait, are we going to see a talking rock? Are we going to see Geode?
We better.
Yes, he better make a cameo. I'll be disappointed.
And they better hire. They better hire the real Geode. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, I heard they were getting Brie Larson because she's like a rock. She has no.
Yeah,
emotion.
No, that works.
Oh man.
Well,
that's good.
I didn't know that. Like, I heard about her being like Harvey Weinstein's assistant, and then I was like, oh well. And now she's making Star Wars. I'm like, that's cool. I mean, if she's good, I heard people say that her show or movie she did on Netflix was good, decent. So I'll see what happens with it. You know, if it's good. It sounds more like Cobra Kai meets, but it's like Karate Kid meets Star Wars or something. Like martial. It said because it said like martial arts or a dojo or something. So yeah.
Well, hopefully the
But,
show isn't as political as this article that we're reading.
yes.
Yeah, what are they
But-
talking about? Like LGBT or what? I don't get it. What? I saw something about like LGBT, and then I was like, what?
They mention that a lot in the article.
Yeah.
Oh.
And yeah, it's always a little bit worrying, and I hate to say this, but it's been so thoroughly ruined. But it's always a little bit worrying when you hear the new series, which is female led.
Yeah,
Cancel him.
Too late.
yeah, canceled. You don't like women? What? No,
Um,
no, I'm joking, but it's weird. It's like, shouldn't you say like Pedro Pascal leads of the Mandalorian? Like not a male lead. Say like Pedro Pascal leads. You know, you don't say a male lead for like the male-led Iron Man movie. You don't say that, do you?
No,
You say
They never say that for movies like that.
You
Well,
say
see,
Robert
the thing
Downey
is-
Jr. You say
Yeah,
Robert
but I
Downey
mean-
Jr. leads Iron Man. Yeah.
But I mean, the
Sorry.
thing is that you know, whenever I heard Wonder Woman and they, oh, look at this female-led film, that always sounded completely fine.
What was
Of course, you know, it was a big thing of course it was female-led because it would be a bit strange if it was led by Chris Pine and it was called Wonder Woman.
Yes, yeah.
But the term that always really worried me and made me sort of go, that movie's definitely going to be suck, is whenever I heard the term female-centric. You know, like the...
Kylo, get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah,
Buff
no,
Fight.
hey, I'm pretty sure a lot of women would be fine with a movie like that. You know, sort of just 2 hours of Adam Driver half naked.
50, it's guys, it's 50 Shades of Kylo. 50
50 Shades of Kylo. I like that.
50 Shades of Ren. 50 Shades.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's awesome.
The next Hollywood blockbuster, 50 Shades of Red.
That's
But-
that's a t-shirt right there.
That is
Yeah. That's a t-shirt right there.
Why would they put that in this? I know that like sometimes, you know, like in Star Wars they got battle damage and they had to, you know, like heal themselves or whatever, but why did they do that? I know it was maybe for the women mainly, but I don't know why they did that. Like
How could you not want that?
that was force Skype right there. That was
Hey,
So-
I wouldn't mind that, I guess, if I were Ray.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
go
know,
back.
I would want more of that. I had to add it in.
Yeah. But yeah, sort of getting back to the article, it was very much sort of the funny thing was that it almost sounded like good cop bad cop, where the AV club would ask all of the questions that would get all those man babies angry. And Leslie Headland just walks in and goes, "Oh no, don't worry about it. Yeah, yeah, I might be a lesbian, but I'm very much a Star Wars fan.
No, you're still holding on. Let go.
Let the past die. Kill it if you have to. Kill it. Like,
Go.
oh no.
Yeah, I really got that vibe from, and I just skimmed it, but I really got that vibe from reading it, and I think, it'll be interesting to see how this series turns out. But it's like, if let's imagine hypothetically that it's actually really good. If it is, they're doing her a big disservice by just trying to bait the fandom that way, because it's like why can't you just ask her questions just about the series and the story itself, and just the same questions that you would ask a straight male director. I don't.
Yeah.
And it goes back to this, like, oh, this is female centric or female led, or it's like, well, you're very you're emphasizing of those things is extremely sexist. It's like, just ask the same questions you would ask of anyone else about the story. But the other thing that I almost feel like it all just doesn't matter, because due to the fact that this is a little remnant piece of Kathleen Kennedy Star Wars that kind of just made it through the sieve, as it were, and so it's like, I kind of feel like, oh, if it's good, then it's like, well, pleasant surprise, and it's good, and then fans will welcome it into the canon. If it's bad, it's probably going to end up yes.
It makes me really think about what they're going to do with it. And you're right, this may be a giant left field, and it's probably good. I don't know. But the thing is that I get the LGBT thing, Pride Month and everything, but why are you using that to promote your show? Why? Okay, this is the best example I can give. The Book of Boba Fett's coming out. What about if they said the male-led Boba Fett series is coming out? What would you do? You're like the male.
You know what I would do?
More male leads.
You didn't have to say it that time. I was ready.
More.
They are trying to justify all the woke stuff that they are going to push it on to preemptively defend what they already know will be rejected by fans. You're right, Chrono.
That's pretty much what this article was.
How could Geos be rejected by fans? No, I'm joking. But
I got something for you, Chrono. Here.
Good job.
That's for you.
Oh.
That's for you, Chrono.
I love that.
All right. Continue on with the article discussion. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, it's fine.
I've pretty much said my piece, really. I mean, there was one thing that a lot of the people on Twitter sort of jumped on, and that was the whole, oh, we have people that we have writers that have never seen Star Wars, and everyone's going, oh my god, and sort of pointing, that's why this show is going to be crap, and it really she could have hired them, sort of something like that, but more it sounds like we just hired, the best around type situation, and one of them just happened to have never seen any Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a good way to look at it for sure, and honestly, that it's that idea of hiring people that don't know Star Wars just to get different perspectives, so she's not surrounded by yes men. That's not a bad idea. The problem is though, if they don't have enough people that actually know the material, then it's not going to turn out good. At least in my opinion, they have some knowledge.
I was actually thinking about this the other day, about like all this with Dave and Jesus Christ, with Dave and Kathleen and all them. I really think this is Kathleen Kennedy's last project per se. Like she's out after the Acolyte. Like she's there, but she's still a producer, but she's not part of it anymore of Star Wars because it's Dave and all them now doing stuff. No,
I don't know how long you've been on here, but hello there.
Hello,
General Kenobi. No,
did you just show up on here, or
I
or
just showed up. I'm not been here long.
Okay. Because I wasn't looking down there on the screen, and I didn't realize that you were here. Or I was hoping I didn't leave you there for like 5 minutes and didn't see you.
No, man. I just joined in.
Okay, well, we got Psycho here today now. Awesome. Nothing much. We're just discussing this wonderful article here. Very fun.
Yeah. I think that Dave and John are finally in control. Kathleen's out, so that's what I feel. I mean, this is the only project she has like a directing credit on. The other ones she is producer, and Dave and John's people are directing. So this makes me think that Kathleen's out. It's like her last main directing project. For it. It's
from the sound of it, she probably not even working. I think she only is involved in all the pre-production stuff, and the minute it starts shooting, even then she's out.
Yeah,
this is where the fun begins.
That could not have been used at a more appropriate time.
Do we even need to see Buff Slow-Wo again?
You want to see Ben Swallow again? Okay, here you go. I'll let you satisfy your eyes. Your hunger for his.
If you all of a sudden mute Bounty Hunter, I'm going to be really worried.
Okay. So,
go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. There's one other thing that she talks heavily about in that article. It's the RPG stuff. Like, she didn't mention what RPGs that she was talking about, but
she did.
What?
She did.
She did.
It was the Star Wars RPG.
What?
To me, that kind of stuff is fun because I also played some Star Wars RPG, and that was my favorite Star Wars. The Star Wars where you get to make up your own Star Wars. So when people are like, "What's your favorite film?" And "What's your favorite piece of media?" I'm like, I just really love the RPGs. To me, that's what Star Wars is being able to walk into the universe and start playing. Which is probably something that was also missed by a lot of the people on Twitter that were
I mean, I get the sentiment, I really do, but they make a dumb comment about how RPGs are for males, specifically white males. Did you read that part?
Yes.
Yeah. Specifically these guys.
Okay, where do they get this information, one? And one thing, you can make a Star Wars show whatever you want, right? Make it make sense, whatever. But if they're trying to say that this is like, there's the Old Republic and then the High Republic where everyone's, I don't know, smoking, I don't know what's going on there, but the point is like, what is the line that, like, is it is it there's the Old Republic, which is some of the best games ever made. Then there is the High Republic, correct? And then the prequels. So this is before the prequels, and Yoda's there. So what are they doing? I don't know how they'll like make this all work, because everyone, it seems like just an attempt to rewrite the Old Republic and make it new or something. Like they're getting rid of Revan. It seems like Revan's gone
No,
in a way.
I mean, the thing is that the time period between the Old Republic, and right before, the Phantom Menace, that's a blank slate. There's really not really that much media in there, so I don't think it was like a, I don't think it was like a, we're going to get rid of the Old Republic and wipe out Revan. No, it was sort of a case of, hang on, there's some space here, and maybe we can create a screen and sort of shield the Old Republic. And whenever people think of what happened before the Phantom Menace, they'll think High Republic, not Old Republic. So I don't think it was a case of, we're going to remove the Old Republic. It was just sort of a case of, no, look at me. We're the stuff before all the movies, not that all that stuff that was created in the before times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like this show seems to me now like a waste of time. I don't know, but I feel like there's no point to it. The High Republic's not doing well.
I think the deal is just to kind of this is a terrible. I'll go with this metaphor. This is just kind of this is a period of just kind of waiting for the poison to work itself out of the system. That is, you know, I mean, it's I think like by the time they made some of these decisions about changes in leadership and so forth, people probably already had signed contracts and maybe scripts written, who knows what, in development already with this series. And so it was like kind of a sunk cost fallacy sort of thing where they just felt like, we've already done so much with this. It would look bad if we like canned it at this juncture. So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, we're going to see it. It's either going to be a pleasant surprise or it'll be what most people are expecting, and we can just have fun making fun of it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's a great thing. We've got something to review after the Bad Batch.
That's true.
The thing I'm just so confused about. I don't mean to be, but it's just the story of it all is so. Why is this information coming out? Because isn't this supposed to be one of like the last shows they're doing? In like the next few years, it was not even going to come out until like 3 years later or whatever. Why is this coming out and we're not getting information on Book of Boba Fett or something else that's coming up in the near future, like Mando Season 4? Why are we getting this right now? Because this show I know of is not supposed to come out for like another 3 to 5 years.
Easy. It's to make sure that it doesn't just fade away into the ether. This article is a big, hey, look at me, I still exist. Because the thing is that everything that's coming from the Filoni Favreau camp is just knocking it out of the park. Where everything that's coming out of the High Republic is
isn't even past. Doesn't even let them get past first base. Not even a home run.
No, it doesn't even get to the batsman.
Okay, that's even better.
So it the reason why it's out now is just so no one
and that
also But I just,
Yeah.
you know, it just kind of popped into my mind when you're saying, the Filoni Favreau camp. One just little line in the article that I thought was kind of, it was telling that she said that when she was
I know
saying,
which one you're talking
yeah,
about.
no one had the same experience with Star Wars. There were people like myself that were like later in life Filoni acolytes, and whether that is what she's saying about herself is true or not, the fact that she felt the need to say that, to name drop that's telling.
Yes.
It is telling.
Yeah, it very much is.
Even if
Yeah.
it's a lie, that's telling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can. I think everyone can see the shift. Like I think we could all predict that Filoni was going to take over for everything because Filoni's like the most popular. Well, some people don't like him, but most people do. And Jon Favreau and him have made Mandalorian, Bad Batch, Clone Wars. They've made some of the most successful projects to recent memory. But the thing that scared me about Leslie Headland is this one quote she said. They asked her, "What's your favorite Star Wars movie?" Do you know what she said? Do you guys remember this? She said, "I love all of them." That scares me. You should know which Star Wars movie is your favorite. So the part that scares me is that she, like you said, doesn't know Star Wars that well, and we're going to get a show that's more of a Filoni copy
I
than Star Wars.
that remark there, it's like I get the impression, like I got kind of the impression from the whole interview, it's like that she's just kind of, on some level, she's kind of walking on eggshells, and
Mm.
it's like she's trying to figure out who she's supposed to try and please. Yeah, and that's really interesting, because I think, a few years ago, like say go back to like, Last Jedi, whatever year that came out, if you had an interview, but that kind of interview, I think you would have more firmly gotten some answer that, to satisfy the Kennedy camp. But the fact that you've got her name dropping Filoni, you've got, the fact that it's like, no, she's not going to answer what her favorite movie is, because it's like that would be telling one way or another. Just the fact, I think that's, some people could say like, she's just being disingenuous or just kind of trying to be very politically tactful, diplomatic. I don't care. Even the fact that she feels she needs to, that's a good sign. Like the fact that she feels that she needs to name drop Filoni, even if it's all a lie, that's so telling. Along with that about not naming a favorite movie.
Yep.
Mhm.
I agree. There's 2 points real quick, or 1 point that I want to make real quick, and it's got something to do with the RPG stuff. This is basically where I was going earlier. And I do agree the RPG thing is perfectly okay for each individual player as a player experiencing his or her own adventure, but not for a canonical show in the franchise. Well, that brought me to a thought. My perspective on this is, even though I think the reason why they think that the RPG thing is more male centric is because more males play games probably than females do. Now, I don't know the studies on that. I probably need to look that up so I know more about what I'm talking about. But as far as I've seen from experiences in life, I don't know many girl gamers, and I have friends on consoles and stuff like that, and most of them, except for the exception of a couple, are all guys. So for them to point that out, it's sort of like they're just, what's the word for it? They're cherry picking, basically, these things.
Yeah.
The one thing that I do
It-
need to bring up though is that you are dealing with two different communities.
Mm-hmm.
Video games is a lot more masculine energy than tabletop.
I am not, okay? I am not.
The thing I wanted to say about the RPG thing, though, real quick, RPGs, you make choices. The thing I like from the RPG thing, what about if this is a show? Sometimes there's very popular shows like this. What about if the Acolyte is not a show? It's a choice maker. It is a show, but you get to choose the beginning and the end, how the show shapes. Like you get choices in the episodes.
Definitely not. That would definitely not make any sense for Star Wars.
No.
Yeah, but I've seen shows do that. But you bring up game.
Oh
elements.
yeah. I know, but I mean that's a completely different sort of discussion. But getting back to the point, the thing is that tabletop has been a community for a lot longer. And so it definitely has a lot more female representation in it.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to video games, the last time I sort of looked at the statistics, and this is American statistics, 1/3 of video game players are women, and that is taken into consideration of the video games that we sort of consider video games, not because the minute you add in puzzle games and match 3 games, it actually becomes 50-50.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, and this is I don't know if it is unique, but actually in Australia, 50% of the hardcore video game market are women. So in Australia, you would actually find a lot more gamers that happen to be women.
Well, you're Australia, though.
Yeah,
Australia's a whole different place.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, one thing that I definitely have to say is that geek culture in Australia is incredibly incestuous. If you play video games, you probably also play tabletop, do LARPing, and collect figurines or build figurines. It's just sort of a case of or you watch anime. A lot of the conventions have a focus, but then also have pretty much every other geeky activity in it. I mean, there's a tabletop convention down here in Melbourne called Conquest that have cosplay competitions. And this is this is a convention where people rock up to play pen and paper RPGs or play Warhammer or stuff like that. But the thing is that people do enjoy dressing up, so it kind of fits. And from what I've heard when it comes to America, you guys kind of don't have that. So when it comes to RPGs, the representation is actually a lot larger than what video games would actually. They're a lot larger than video games than most people think.
Oh, okay. Well, that's some good information right there that I didn't even know. Well, some of it was anyway. Okay, so we've been on this for a while. Is there anything else that we need to talk about with this topic before we actually move on to the meat and potatoes of the stream, which is the Bad Batch discussion?
There's that other article.
I don't want
the other one.
Let's talk about it real quick. I didn't get to read it due to the fact that I've been doing nothing but working today. So you're also going to be heading this one, Sir AOA.
Fun. Okay,
great.
Give me a second.
Hey, I'm training you to be a secondary or third or whatever host whenever the time may arise. Do it. Just do it.
Okay.
Just do it.
Yeah, Shade's preparing all of us to be a host if he can't make it. That's what.
Do it. Okay. You guys can see this.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Because
Beautiful title.
Using my dual. I'm using the power of dual screen, but I'm running out of space. Now, this article sort of popped up, and it sort of popped up through Midnight's Edge and Cameron Pasha, both Twitter accounts that you should probably start following if you're not following. But it's pretty much that has
That was a little later than I meant it to be.
that kind of popped up, sort of calling out the fact that Disney Star Wars isn't going so hot. Now, if you've been reading all the articles and paying attention to everything, there's really nothing new in this article. But as Cameron Pasha pretty much stated, the fact that it exists is a shot across the bow to the Kathleen Kennedy camp.
Yeah.
And there's a video that Midnight's Edge released where they were talking about, where they were going through this article with him. And the question was asked, why does this article exist? And one of the things he said was, it exists because something has been signed. Something has happened behind the scenes, and this is just a setup to get everyone talking the right
Get
stuff.
everyone primed.
Get everyone primed. Yes. So it's just sort of like, oh, this happened. Well, of course this happened because of X, Y, Z. And he pretty much sort of stated that this is the third act of the play that Bob Chapek did with the start of the Forbes article a couple of months ago.
Yeah,
that makes complete sense. That's how it works. The fact that they have, just in the title, mismanaged. It's in the title. It's like you before that, it's like you might have that kind of talk sort of buried maybe in the deep within the text of an article, and it would be so gently phrased. Yeah, but the fact that you now have that's all that really matters, honestly, is the title, because that's all that most people read. And it's there. And I think it's like, I know, for years people have been talking about kind of the Disney shill media or the Hollywood shill media and how it, and the role it has in priming audiences to think certain ways about certain franchises, to promote goodwill or not. And so, so the fact that you see this, that's definitely really promising. That this is now that it seems now that this is the narrative that the corporation's buying into, at least trying to pitch.
See, as Cameron was saying on the video, when it comes to the Forbes article, that's very much what the insiders should be talking about. If it's reached something like the Atlantic, that's what everyone should be talking about. This is sort of like a signal of, hey, this is the talking points. Go and talk about them. Where the Forbes article, that was for the investor class, where for the Atlantic it's everyone else.
Yep.
Yep. I completely
Yeah,
agree with that.
I've there was a rumor going around that something big is happening behind the scenes, and I think I have confirmation. I hear certain things out of the blue. Don't take me on it, but I've heard from multiple sources, but I've talked to and that I've watched videos on, that Galaxy's Edge. This is the big thing. The park is going to be rethemed into Mandalorian and become Mandalorian, Baby Yoda, Luke, and all of them will be there, and not the sequel characters, is what I've heard. So I've
So
heard that too.
instead of Galaxy's Edge, it's Filoni verse Edge.
Yes,
It,
Ahsoka will be there. Yep,
it makes sense
Mhm.
too,
that's
because
what
just
we've heard.
having been there like once, it's like, and how it's already themed, that would be the easiest. It'd be so easy to transition parts of that to like Navarro and that kind of,
Yep.
that would be so easy to do. It wouldn't require a whole lot of expensive, crazy
Mhm.
retheming of it.
I think that the fact that there was only like, I think a lot of people, myself included, like upon seeing all the Galaxy's Edge stuff, was like, yeah, it's cool. Like it'd be really cool to see the Millennium Falcon, but like I don't know if I'm like willing to pay all that money just to see like parts from my least favorite Star Wars movies come to life, so to speak. Like I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of other people felt that way too, and would probably, if it was a Filoni verse, so to say, maybe more people would be interested, and it wouldn't be such a divisive thing.
You know what
That's
that clip now is? It's Filoni throwing Kathleen out of Lucasfilm. But it's like that. It's like, I mean, the writing's been on the wall for Kathleen Kennedy and Pablo Hidalgo and all of them. That's why they've been so scared and trashing the fans recently, because they know that they're out the door, because Filoni and John and George Lucas are back and they're making good Star Wars content. So
That brings
they,
up a related question, actually, and this is probably for another stream. Like, a lot of the talk has been about what's happening with her, when's she going to leave, how's she going to leave. I'm curious at the same time about other members of the story group. You know what I mean? Because I get it's not just her. She isn't the only problem there. I'm curious about how long some of those others are going to be sticking around.
From
that's a
everything
great
that I've
question.
heard, uh, uh, they're going to be sticking around in the exact same amount of time as she will. So
I
the
hope
minute
that's the case.
minute she walks out the door, so will they.
The only thing though, because our the place that I work at is also having a similar change. And you would understand this if you were down here. You'd understand, but you always have that fear of something worse coming in there to replace them. And
Agreed,
that's
100%.
yeah. I'm just hoping that's not the case.
But I mean, the one thing that you've got to realize is that they've already put the replacement in.
yes.
Dave Filoni has full creative control.
That's true.
So,
But who's going to handle the business side? That's the question.
But I mean, that's the business side.
Uh,
I mean, I would not be surprised if Dave Filoni
Yeah.
just sort of like going, "We need to create this, sign the check." At which point the person goes, "Yeah, sure, sign in the check." There might be sort of like no, let me have a look at the budget. Yeah, nope, that seems fine. Signing check. Here you go, Dave Filoni. See you later. So I mean, the thing is that I don't think we're going to get another Kathleen Kennedy because the creative control is already being given to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
already got, the backing of everyone that matters.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's got.
and
Sorry.
it's not, and he's got a good team around him, which also includes, George bloody Lucas.
Yeah, I think so long as
Yeah.
you have
Yeah,
the
they couldn't have delegated anybody else better for that role, I believe.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the one thing that George Lucas said on Mandalorian's set when Ahsoka was brought out, he said, "I'm glad you suggested, Dave, to not kill her, because now we have an amazing actress to play Ahsoka. I'm glad we didn't kill her." Because he loved Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka so much, George Lucas did. So he said, "I'm glad we didn't kill Ahsoka, Dave," on the set. So it's like Dave Filoni literally has made Star Wars what it is. For the younger generation, Dave Filoni is their Star Wars. Mandalorian, everything. Besides the sequels, it's been Filoni with Clone Wars and everything for the younger ones. So, I mean, and he's really good at it. I mean, he did Avatar before he did Clone Wars. So, he's very
Yeah, that's
well
a good
known for
point. For
doing.
this generation coming up, he's literally going to be looked at as their George Lucas.
Yeah.
I would definitely agree with that statement. What were you going to say, Commander Tano?
Well, I think the first thing was, so long as so long as if there's someone, someone in Kathleen like position above Filoni, so long as they just sign the checks, they're not invasive or meddling, or they just unconditionally sign the checks, that's fine. My one fear would be ending up with someone who's trying to involve themselves in the creative process where they shouldn't, or being like, well, I think we should fire this person or that person, doing stuff like that. Hopefully that won't be the case. But yeah, I think it's interesting actually with the whole Filoni thing, is that it's kind of
Sorry.
what I appreciate is like he's very respectful of Lucas and kind of Lucas's authorial intentions for Star
And
Wars.
his creative vision, so to speak.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
at the same time, he has made good calls that Lucas wouldn't have, like keeping Ahsoka alive. That was a really good call. I think too frequently killing off characters closes off story doors, if as you will, that you may want to have open, later down the road. And I think also I think so he's done a good job at keeping doors and windows in the story open, whereas someone like Rian Johnson with The Last Jedi shut so many. He opened some interesting story possibilities, but then promptly shut them. And yeah.
Well, I mean, with
And this
Ahsoka,
poses another.
with Ahsoka, everyone sort of does need to remember was that originally she was going to be killed off, but the thing was that the response,
Order 66,
her response to even before Order 66, because she was meant to be killed off before the movies because she didn't exist in the third movie. But the thing was that
that's right.
The fan response to her arc and going from the most hated character in the Clone Wars to the most beloved character in the Clone Wars, to Dave, it became evident that that we should keep her around because she is such a fan favorite. That they can tell so many stories and people will jump on board as quickly as they can to watch the rest of that.
Yeah, and the evidence to that. Oh, sorry. The evidence to that is the Rebels arc with Ahsoka. The thing where she fought Darth Vader in Rebels. I mean, Rebels was but there were moments in Rebels that were good, and Ahsoka versus Vader was one of the best moments in that.
Yeah, and
so that's why I'm glad she stayed.
what I think is interesting about fan reception to her being in Rebels, and I think people were kind of Ahsoka starved and wanting more of her in Rebels, after that. What I think is interesting, and I'm trying to think back to the timing of when The Last Jedi was released, and all of that, but I kind of wonder too, for Filoni's reasons for keeping her alive, not just through Order 66, but also kind of having Ezra be kind of a Deus ex machina to drag her out from the world between worlds. It's like, I think, once in The Last Jedi, Luke's character was both killed off metaphorically and literally in the story. It's like there's really nothing left of Anakin's legacy except Ahsoka. And I think, in that kind of interim up until, the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian, I think another reason fans glommed onto her is because that's kind of all that you've got. That's all you've got left of Anakin, really. Hadn't been destroyed, at that point, by
the Empire.
Yeah.
No, there was sorry, go ahead.
Do you think they could be trying to retcon the sequels, even though a lot of them have said they weren't? Do you think they are? Because I mean, why bring back, like, let's say Ahsoka, and she lives past the Return of the Jedi. She lives past that. Ezra is apparently alive, I would say, since she's looking for Thrawn. Where you find Thrawn, you find Ezra.
The Ghost Crew is alive. Well, if we're going by who's alive in the shows and stuff, the Ghost Crew is most likely alive, or most Kanan's probably. Well, I don't know, but
no, Kanan's
most
dead.
of the people.
No, Kanan's dead.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
I was mainly talking about Jedi. That's why I mentioned both Ahsoka and Ezra, because at the end of Return of the Jedi, or not at the end, but the last time Luke talks to Yoda, he said, "The last of the Jedi will you be?" And I'm assuming he doesn't know that Ezra and Ahsoka are still alive, because otherwise he probably wouldn't have told him that. But what I'm trying to say is, if you look at the sequel trilogy is like, oh, there's nothing left of the old, basically of the, well, they got the New Republic, but they have this Rebels copy, which is the Resistance, and then they have an Empire copy, which is the First Order, and they treat everything like Order 66 had still had all the Jedi wiped out, and there's only one Jedi around, which is Luke. And then here comes Wonder Ray, who decides, hey, I'm going to learn how to be a Jedi with an actor. I'm all the Jedi. I am all the Sith. Sorry, I had to make that impression.
There's also some other evidence, I think, to back up back up the idea, the hypothesis that they're going to retcon things. Is if you think about both in The Mandalorian, and this can bring us into talking about the Bad Batch too. There are moments in both of those series where just there are little details that are put in different storylines that contradict material that is in, a book or a comic. And I think that's really interesting. And I think and look, I don't think it's because that, say, Filoni or Favreau are being neglectful, especially not Filoni. He knows. I think it's intentional. I think especially, if you talk about the Bad Batch, I remember, obviously in the first episode, there was this big to-do over, oh, that thing didn't happen in the Kanan comic that way, or, and it's like, no kidding. And I think Filoni's very aware of it. I think that's completely intentional if he did that. It's not an accident. I think they're just testing the waters and seeing, well, let's see if we just do something a little differently this way.
Mhm.
you know,
Mm.
and see how people
Yeah.
react to that, or see if people even notice. So I think there's
Sorry, I gotta be the one that says it. No, I'm sorry too. Most people don't read the books. Most people only watch the TV shows and movies, and
most
sometimes
don't.
play the games. It's not.
But the point is that how Star Wars has been pitched to us as there's this one story and it's encompassed by all these different forms of media and everyone meets together and so that nothing contradicts, so nothing in a movie contradicts something in a book or vice versa and so forth. And now you get, Filoni being like, no,
Mhm.
actually I'm going to do the story this way, and or I love, for instance, even just things that are a little bit more subtle than that, like say in The Mandalorian, where they're watching that, you've seen that hologram of the second Death Star being blown up repeatedly,
Mhm.
like just the
Yeah.
smithereens. It's like you could not get that. You couldn't get from that what we saw in Rise of Skywalker with that huge, like most of the thing was like intact, basically. It was not blown to smithereens, and it was all kind of sitting, in the ocean. It's like those two images do not. One is true and one is not.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. And I remember people asking about that, and there was no attempt to give any justification, like, or explanation. Oh, well, of course it could have ended up like that. Of course these two images, are compatible. Yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
attempt to reconcile it.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
hang
like
on.
one of
They
these.
attempted.
Yeah.
They attempted to reconcile anything in the sequel trilogy.
No, the big thing about it that really gets me about this is Ahsoka, that we know of, is dead in The Rise of Skywalker because she's one of the voices in Rey's head. So that means if Filoni's retconning, Ahsoka is alive. So if Ahsoka's alive at the end of the sequel trilogy timeline, if they still go through the sequel trilogy timeline, but with Mando and stuff, if she's still alive by Rise of Skywalker time, then it is a complete retcon because she is dead in Rise of Skywalker because that's in Rey's head as the Jedi. So
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is that we don't know if all of the Jedi that were in her head were dead.
that's true. That's true.
It
We
was
only
heavily
knew that.
suggested, but yeah, we
Yeah.
don't know,
Suggested.
but I think the fact that so many people got that impression, and that it wasn't say like, that say J.J. Abrams didn't come out and be like, oh, don't worry, this doesn't exactly mean, that these characters are all dead. It wasn't J.J. because I think that's what he intended. But I think Filoni was like, wait, no, she's not dead.
Yeah, because Filoni likes Ahsoka too much. Like Ahsoka's like his baby. Like,
I mean, the
Ah,
fans themselves
I wouldn't.
like them too much.
well,
Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't go that far type of situation. But I mean,
no.
it is sort of one of those situations of, when you've got a good thing, and Ahsoka is a good
Yes.
thing, so you
Yep.
want to protect the good thing, so you can continue to use the good thing.
They could have made the sequel trilogy about Ahsoka.
They
you think about
yes. Yes. I
About
Ah,
her
it-
trying to find Luke, and like they could pull a Rey with it, but not exactly. But her trying to find Luke and start up a new Jedi temple.
Well, see, that was the big mistake. That's what they should have done.
Think of how much better of a
movie
protagonist-
7.
But then
should
Anakin's
have been-
sacrifice would have meant something, and then he'd have a good legacy, and we can't possibly have that.
Yeah. guys, I just thought about it. Why wasn't it Mara Jade that was the Jedi? Why wasn't it Mara Jade? She meets Luke to train. We can change the story a little bit, but why wasn't it that Mara Jade was the Jedi that Luke had to train in Last Jedi? and then they
I've
could
decided
have
that
formed their
Disney
own-
refuses to acknowledge Mara Jade's existence for some reason or another.
Yeah,
Like it's never gonna happen.
I think they have something against redheads.
They do.
Maybe.
They
Perhaps.
turned Ariel. They turned
Yeah.
Ariel black. Just saying. Oh.
But no, I mean the thing is that they couldn't have done Mara Jade for the sequel trilogy because
Well.
Mark Hamill was just too old. It really would have just been weird.
He's still sexy.
Yeah.
Oh, hey!
Just saying.
I'm not
Wait.
I'm not going to dismiss people's opinion on what is sexy and what isn't. But
Let's get into that conversation.
he seems he seems to be, Mark Hamill at his age with long hair, he very much seems to be Gandalf, not oh god, I've forgotten the character's name. The king from Lord of the Rings.
Aragorn.
That's it, Aragorn.
I
Yeah.
think if he cleaned up, he could old like Pierce
Sorry,
Brosnan like type dude, you know?
Maybe. I don't know.
Pierce
yeah,
Brosnan's like
but
old,
yeah,
but he has class.
Just
Think about that for a moment.
oh god, no, please, no, just no. I don't want
I'm
to think
gonna
about that.
shoot myself for reading that.
Guys, they do hate redheads though. They
Look.
turned Ariel into she had black hair now and she's not white and she has no red hair for the Little Mermaid movie coming. I'm just saying that's something with redheads. They don't
I'm sorry. It makes no sense to have a dark-skinned mermaid. And I'm not saying that because of racist, but it's just sort of a case of there's not much sun at the bottom of the ocean. So
I'm gonna do it, guys. I'm
Oh,
gonna do
Lord.
it.
Wait, no, what are you doing? Stop it!
I got a gun, bro.
no.
I got a couple too. Don't make me bring it out.
If you turn it sideways, it means like you're bad, you know?
You're bad to the bone.
Yeah, dude.
But
I can
quick
see that
question,
from you.
does anyone need this article anymore? Because
If that is all that we got to talk about on it, I think we're good.
Well, yeah,
We're
because
good.
there's
We're good.
one last thing that I would like to share before we,
Okay. Yes, we gotta get ready to go into the Bad Batch discussion.
Wait.
We're like way behind.
I'm right on
Yep.
schedule, baby.
It's all right.
Yeah, you're on schedule.
All right,
for
let's do
sure.
it.
Fashionably late. at all
Okay, it's up.
times.
All right, there we go.
And yeah, I think that really sort of says it all about that article.
I wonder how much longer my Lucasfilm stalker is going to have a job after this. The Atlantic is deeply connected to the Hollywood Club. The article is a decapitation move on Chapek against Kathleen Kennedy at Doomcock. Was right, and I kind of predicted it too on Midnight's Edge. So yeah, that is pretty telling.
And I mean that tweet does there's actually a few more sort of discussion points that he has with other Twitter users that really kind of sort of puts that article in perspective.
Yeah. So is it Bad Batch or
What?
But sorry.
Can someone make
No,
a gif of me like trying to shoot myself?
Wait, what?
Why?
It's documented now. We have it.
Why do you want that?
Just so
Why?
that I could throw it out there, like in the chat, like as a reaction when something makes me cringe.
Okay.
Uh,
You're gonna have to like take a video of that, and I can turn it into a GIF.
It's so
I seriously can.
ridiculous. I love it.
Well, you probably need to turn yourself into an 8-bit character before that happens. So
Nothing
Animate
is
it.
cooler than 8-bit suicide. After all,
Oh gosh. All right.
That's crazy though.
Anything else we need to say before we move on to the Bad Batch?
No, I don't.
Okay then. Well, we're going to go ahead and actually start the real reason why the stream is up. I know we're I can't say words. It's Bad Batch. We also have a quick little word from Sir AOA over here. Go ahead, Sir AOA.
Well, it's a short PSA from the Force Collective brought to you by me, Sir AOA. If you're cornering your prey in a Star Cruiser's iron engine, turning it on might not be the best idea. If it's a rust bucket, it could blow up, wiping out you and your prey. Radiation leak could happen everywhere. Or the engine blast could be directed towards you, burning you to a crisp. But if you have to turn it on and risk hazard reduction burns, come with protection by bringing Tatooine skincare cream, sold by your local Jawa sandcrawler.
What?
Oh gosh,
Man, Crosshair should have had some of that.
I know it. I know it. I mean, he got
his whole face and his arm got broken.
I'm surprised
He got roasted like a pork.
I was surprised too, honestly.
Like I like cringe. Like I was like, no, I don't want to watch. Like when I saw him starting to cook, I was like, because I remember in some. I'm trying to think like the most recent like violent Clone Wars or Rebels thing. It's like I've seen things like when Rebels like say when Maul lightsabers Kanan in the eyes, and there's a bit where you can kind of see some juices spewing out as he's clutching his face. It's like, but it's like, yeah, I get they've sometimes shown a little bit of blood here and there, but like,
yeah,
I was surprised they showed. I was surprised they showed that as much as they did.
Okay, that was an intense moment, but I think we all know why we're really here to talk about Bad Batch.
Two words, Cad Bane.
Yes, Cad Bane.
Yes.
Yes.
I predicted it. Well, sort of. Remember a few streams back when I said that they'll probably end up bringing some characters from the Clone Wars back, and I mentioned Boba Fett as a bounty hunter. Since they were bringing back bounty hunters, I was thinking either Boba Fett or Cad Bane. I figured that they would do that. And I am so glad that they got Cad Bane.
Are you joking right now? This is like blowing my mind for real. I don't remember that.
Wait, what?
I don't remember that prediction, but that's like blowing my mind that you got that.
Yeah, look, I am a Jedi. I can see the future.
Look, I
was right.
I'm just gonna end it, bro.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start running out of just sheer fright.
You were right. I remember when you were talking about that, and you may have alluded to like the kind of the episodes that weren't completed involving Bane and Boba Fett, and that was something.
Yes.
That we all. I wonder. That was something that we all wanted to see.
Yes.
Yes.
Boba Fett wouldn't be in it though because Boba Fett's a kid still. This is like right.
I wouldn't say that. He's more of like a teenager. He might be around 18. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
who knows?
It'd be interesting to see kind of the version of like maybe the voice from like the guy who played Boba Fett as a kid. Like he's like he still does voice acting and stuff. Like maybe have him voice that character would be interesting. I mean, he's probably in his 30s, but I mean, he could definitely play that character.
And he voiced him in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? You're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he'll voice him again. If they bring him back, he'll voice him again.
I have a prediction on who they'll bring into it. This is kind of easy now saying who they're bringing in, but I think we'll see Wolf, Commander Wolf. I think we'll see the Rebels clone crew, Rex, Wolf, and that other guy.
Gregor. I
Yes.
already predicted that a few
Definitely.
streams back. I figured they'd bring them in to show something with them
Well,
at some point.
Well, and then there's one prediction I do have. I don't know why. I feel like Darth Maul will appear because we have to see what happened to Darth Maul.
It'll be more of a short cameo probably than anything else. He's not the main villain.
I think
No,
if they
no.
do too much more
No.
with Maul, people will start to get upset.
That's true.
And the
Yes,
thing is
yeah.
that Maul is meant to be in the Obi-Wan show. So
That's true.
Yes, that's
So
true.
honestly, I
think
wouldn't
that's
want him to
fine.
show up in the
Like,
show.
that's
Maybe
kinda to be
mentioned.
expected.
Yeah. I mean, mention him, okay. Put him in the show, maybe like a hologram of him or something like that if they're talking about him. But don't actually put him in the show because, they've already got a lot going on, and adding Darth Maul into it might. I mean, they're already bringing back a lot of characters. They're going to pull a Mandalorian season 2 if they keep doing that. Which, I mean, not that it was bad, but I'd say a lot of people wouldn't like that.
I know
But-
who it is. I know who
You
they're
know
bringing
who it
back. I think I know.
All right.
Darth Vader. I think he will come into it somehow. I think we'll see Anakin one time. One time in this.
Maybe near the end.
Yeah,
Like
I could
like
see it.
Jedi Fallen Order did with Cal. I feel like that could happen, honestly. And he
I can
hunts
see
him
that.
down or something.
I think that Vader should be used sparingly, just kind of and like every scene that they use Vader in, he should just crush, Like,
Yeah.
I feel like he needs to be like an intimidating like force to be dealt with. We've seen some frightening Vader moments. I really would like to see more of that really dark side of Vader. And also kind of the conflicting human side too. Like if maybe I don't know. I don't really know how much they're gonna actually use Anakin from this point forward, but it'll just be interesting to see Vader pop up for sure in the Obi-Wan show.
Mhm.
I feel like it will.
Mhm.
I feel like when Obi-Wan comes out, some way or another, it's gonna change the way that we all look at Anakin. Like it's gonna really,
Or
because it's
Obi-Wan.
gonna show the psychology of what everything that Anakin put Obi-Wan through, and it's gonna change the way that we look at him. I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
Now, let me see here. Okay, so as far as things that have been predicted so far, like I am the master predictor. That's what I'm going to call myself now. So let's go ahead and talk about the episode. Not just like that one part, but we talked about last stream that I think it was last stream anyway, that this episode or at least the next 2 episodes going on from the one with I think it was the one with the Trace sisters or whatever. I forgot their names.
The Martinez sisters.
Martez sisters.
Yeah.
Martez.
Trace and
Trace
Rafi.
is one of the
Yeah,
names.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Trace
So
and Rafi. Yeah.
Rafa, I
No,
think.
Sorry. Go.
Yeah, that's what.
Rafi.
Well, no, that's not the episode we were talking about. No, it was the last episode before this one. So
Captain Rex.
we said, yeah, that one. So we said, or I think it was you, Commander Tano, that said that we are due something big, I think, or something like that. You said something like that. So
Yes.
we predicted that this episode would show up a lot of Crosshair, a lot of the Empire. I mean, especially since they
got
already
it.
mentioned it. Yeah. I mean, it was a good episode, first of all. And honestly,
Yes.
I didn't expect it to take the turn that it did, especially at the end. Like we can talk about the stuff that happened at the beginning, but it's mostly them just like trying to run away, basically. But the end is what we really want to talk about, and that is both Crosshair getting burnt to a crisp, Anakin style, or
Hunter getting shot. Hunter got shot
Oh
at the
yeah,
end by
that's
Cat
right.
Bane.
That's right. That little Western styled shootout, that was pretty cool.
That was
Yeah.
sick.
Even with the music,
As soon as
even with
Cad
the
Bane
music.
showed up in that shootout started, I turned to Keely and I just was like, Hunter's gonna get shot right now. He's gonna get popped. And I was right. He got popped for sure.
Yeah. The thing about that is that like Cad Bane is such a. But I was listening to that theme music because I watched it 2 times. I watched it myself and then with my mom. So I was like, let's see what this is. I was listening to the music. It sounds like a re-theme of the Mandalorian. Dun. It sounds like the Mandalorian theme, just re-themed a little bit if you listen. So because it
never
already
noticed
sounds like
that
a
when I
western.
watched it. Huh. I have to rewatch that scene. But what do you think is going to happen with Omega? Oh wait, before I say anything else, there was one other thing. And
Okay.
I'm still standing by this. Okay, there's going to be a
Yes,
clone
sir.
rebellion. I let a stream go by without me mentioning it, but now I feel like it's confirmed that there is going to be a clone rebellion because
Yes.
the Kaminoans said that they had a contingency plan. So right there sort of alludes to the obvious, hopefully, the obvious rebellion that they are planning, which it's obvious to us, not anybody on there. But what is this special? What is so special about Omega besides the fact that she's adorable and that she's a really fun character to watch?
Accent.
Well, yeah, accent too. That good accent. But what in the world is so special about her that they need her specifically so they can make, I guess, another batch of clones to, I guess, rebel against the Empire if that is what things have come to.
Well,
So,
first of
I
all,
haven't.
she's missing.
Yeah. I mean,
I have
Bane
an idea.
has her, but doesn't he work for the Kaminoans? At least for
Yes.
this one? Okay. So I'm assuming next episode, which is tomorrow, we will see something about her being brought back to the Kaminoans, and maybe we'll learn something then. But as far as predictions go, what do you guys think? We'll go in order because I want everybody to voice their predictions. Since Sir AOA is underneath me on the screen, go ahead, Sir AOA.
Predictions. I'm not entirely sure because it's just sort of one of those situations of, do the Bad Batch go straight to Kaminoa and go in to kick names and chew ass? Or do they sort of, go and, heal Hunter? And yes, I did say it incorrectly on purpose. So it all depends. I mean, the thing is do they go and get help or do they just saddle up and ride in? So I, at this present moment, I see it going in too many directions to sort of have any decent predictions. But I don't believe that they will go just riding in, especially with, Hunter having a hole in his chest or in his chest armor.
Yeah.
And his ego.
Yep.
True.
But the thing is that, do they call on help? And if so,
go ahead.
will we see other traitors to the Empire?
Ooh. Hey. Well, go ahead. Sorry. I'll say what I need to say in a minute.
Yeah, so it's honestly, I kind of would like to see, how many traitors are in the clone army. Because not all of them will be. If I wouldn't be surprised if all the regs or a lot of the regs, had their chips switched on and they went, yes, let's kill all the Jedi. But I wouldn't be surprised if there were quite a lot that had them malfunction because, you're dealing... Oh, but there is actually one thing that I do want to point out before I finish, and this isn't so much actually, it kind of is a prediction. But it's someone else's prediction that I saw and that, was really interested in was, could Crosshair's chip be damaged from being lightly radiated?
Mm-hmm.
That's a
It actually
that came
I
from
think so.
Generation Tech, and the thing
it
is
seems that way.
Yeah, and the thing, because I mean, the one thing you've got to remember is how an ion engine works. And it's essentially propelling a whole lot of ionized electrons.
Energy. Yeah.
Those electrons would pass through your body quite easily and would ram into a few other things.
Mm-hmm.
So it, a lot of the burns that he probably sustained are probably not heat burns, but radiation burns. And seeing how his helmet got knocked off and the rest of the body's probably fine, but his head's probably not.
Well, wasn't his legs burnt up as well?
No. I think from the look of it, it was just stuff landing on it, so it broke.
I would say by the look of it, he's not okay.
That's a very interesting deduction, Psycho.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean,
think it could have been.
But the chips aren't electronic. That's the thing. They're biological.
I mean, there's got to be a certain amount of electronics added into it, don't you think?
Well, because they could take it out. They took it out. It has to be like a certain, because it seems like they made the clones, then put the chips in them. So maybe because if they can get them taken out, it's not part of them per se.
No, it can still be part of them, and removable.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
you can go into the brain and cut a few pieces out. Probably not wise, but you can do it. I mean, some of the early psychological treatments included lobotomies.
Yeah,
true.
Were they successful? Well, in actually damaging the brain, yeah, very successful. Successful in actually healing a person? Don't think so. So I mean, the thing is that the chip probably wasn't fried due to electricity or something like that. It was probably fried from radiation because cells kind of don't like high intensity radiation very much. It kind of ruins them.
Or it could have overheating of the chip, like of the flame, because when the electronics get near, it gets too hot and the electronic shuts off. It stops working if it gets overheating.
But I mean, you're still dealing with the difference between electronics and biology.
True. You're right.
If the cells in the brain were overheating, I don't think you would have to worry about Yes, I think the world is very glad that I knew from game of service.
Yeah. Look,
Let's hang on. Let's open up and find out how this person works.
oh gosh, he turned into a witch again.
What? I'm no witch. I am a scientist.
Oh, now you're a mad scientist. Okay.
No, I'm not a mad scientist. I am a scientist for science.
That's exactly what a mad scientist would say because they don't think they're mad. You have to be mad to and say that, you know. It just makes you sound suspicious, you know. Just saying it with that voice.
What? There's nothing wrong with my voice.
I'm not saying there's something wrong. I'm just saying that maybe you sound a little mad.
And slightly Australian.
Oh yeah, I forgot to add that part. That's like the biggest part of it.
Well, actually, talking about mad scientists, do you know stomach ulcers?
Yes.
An Australian scientist found out that ulcers were caused by bacteria. Do you know how he found that out?
How?
By consuming bacteria.
What?
Oh.
Bro, this man's a G.
Okay, let me put it this way.
That's some like
he tried to
Bear Grylls level stuff.
He tried to do a test using pigs. It didn't work because of just other things. He realized that it didn't work, applied to do another study. They denied him because, it's ulcers are caused by more acid in the stomach, not by bacteria. So the only way he could prove his hypothesis was consuming the bacteria.
So he tested it on himself.
Yep. And he got a stomach ulcer. He took the medicine and went, I'm fine. And because of it, he won a Nobel Prize.
Legend.
So, yes, there are definitely mad scientists in Australia.
Yeah.
Very Australian. I'm just going to keep saying it. Very Australian.
But yeah, sorry, getting back to the point. The thing is that the engine would have hit Crosshair with radiation, not so much electrical charges. It would produce. Doesn't matter. We'll just skip that part. So the radiation would probably damage it, not so much electrical generation. So the ions from ion weapons wouldn't so much affect in the same way. That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
All right.
My idea about maybe a little bit of electronics being in it sort of stems from Tup and his experience with the inhibitor chip because it malfunctioned. Which I don't know exactly how a biological chip would work, but that's why I assume that there is some matter of electronic within it, at least. Which they do specialize in genetics and stuff like that in Camino. So, I guess it's not hard to,
But
assume.
The thing is that you sort of have to understand how the brain works. The cells release chemicals that react with another cell, and that's how signals keep being released. Now, in a healthy brain, it's only a small amount of neurochemicals. That's why epilepsy is a problem, because the release of the neurochemicals is a lot more than it should be, thus causing neuron cells to fire all around those cells, thus causing the epileptic fits. So can a biological chip short circuit? Answer: yeah. Why?
Okay.
Because the brain short circuits itself. So that's why you have conditions like epilepsy and like Tourette's. That's it. It's the misfiring of neurons that that shouldn't be firing. Well, but depending on which condition it is, depends on how different it works. So yes, his TUPS chip could malfunction just because a more neurochemical got released somewhere it shouldn't have, and ta-da! We have a misfire.
Okay, so
Makes sense.
let me. Oh wait, did you have something to say?
Oh no, I was just saying makes sense.
Oh,
Science lessons from Sir A on the Force Collective.
it's a good one. I'll give you that. But let me throw this one at you. So, see, I don't know how chemicals would explain. First of all, though, like chemicals in the brain would explain their sudden change in personality. The one thing that I can think of that would cause something like that is maybe there's a tiny device within the biological chip, because I think the biological thing is sort of to connect it to the brain more than actually like function on its own. So what I'm thinking is that, and I get this from something else. I might explain that in a little bit, but there could be a device within it, small at that, but transmitting maybe at a frequency that sort of alters the brain's activity or something. Just because certain frequencies, if I'm not mistaken, which I'm no scientist, I'm not that smart, but they do mess with the brain, and maybe that's one thing that could be doing it. I mean, which that's just a little thought in my head. Somebody else that's smarter than me might be able to elaborate more if they understand what I'm saying. But that's sort of the thing that I had in my mind, is that there's like a little device transmitting this weird signal that could be, I guess, in a way, brainwashing the clones. Because one other thing, and this was a long time ago when I used to really look into the inhibitor chip stuff when it was first announced. Some people thought that maybe the helmets were transmitting something, and it caused the clones to go into this sort of trance. And the reason why they say trance is because when you're in a trance, at least from what I've found out, your pupils dilate, and they're bigger. Well, every clone seemed to have done that. Tup especially, because his pupils were dilated when he was getting ready to kill. I think her name was Tiplar, Jedi Master Tiplar. I think that was her name. Which I didn't pay attention to Rex's eyes. I probably should have. He was the only other clone that you can see the face of during Order 66, if I'm not mistaken. So we might need to look back and see that to see if they were consistent with it. But if that's the case, maybe they're in some sort of trance constantly now, because maybe the chip has got some device that's transmitting some weird frequency or signal that's altering their brain activity.
Yep. And the thing is that if you know anything about hypnosis, is that someone with a strong will can break it, or someone with a strong will not be affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
Hence why it's sort of perfectly understandable that Rex would be like that, because it very much suits his character. Where Commander Cody would probably be a little bit too sort of by the book,
Mm-hmm.
to just go, I'm following along. Where Rex, having interacted with Ahsoka and Anakin, a lot more independently willed.
Yeah.
Hence why he would have sort of hence why he would have stopped himself. But hang on, I just looked up on Wikipedia. The chips were surgically implanted into the brains of every single clone embryo past the stage 3 of their development. So it wasn't something that was, I guess you could say, in the DNA, but it was something that was implanted.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Exactly.
So it's a chip. Yeah.
I mean,
That's how.
that's why I say maybe if like that the tissue, the biological tissue that they use is probably just a way of attaching it and connecting it to the brain rather
Oh no,
than it being
it's
an
still
actual chip.
100% organic.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
still
that's
an
what
organic chip, but it's an introduced organic chip, not something that's already in the brain.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
what I was saying. That's what I was saying. They created that organicness for the chip. Because I'm under the impression, or I'm not under the. I'm just saying that if we go with my theory, that there's like this tiny electronic device that's basically sending out a frequency that hypnotizes them. That organic matter is the one thing they covered it with, so they can implant it to the brain or something like that, and make it sort of undetectable. Because you know how hard it is to detect those, because they seem to have a very hard time detecting those on the show.
Yeah. Like they needed a special helmet to remember. They have those in the battle scars, the one before this episode. Remember, Tech had to put Rex's head to their head with and so that, so they could do a scan of what his head looked like, so what the chip would be in theirs. They had to come up with a special device to even find the chip, so they're very tiny.
Well,
No,
Colonel says he looked at Wikipedia, and it says that it is entirely made of organic matter, but its DNA is not the same as the clones. So,
okay. That's
so
it can be
I
hidden.
sort of like my theory better, but if that's the case, I mean,
but
they all
I mean,
have
the thing is,
the size of
the reason that Bad Batch were able to detect it is because it's easier to find an anomaly when you have a scan of someone's brain without the chip.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, because remember, Ahsoka couldn't find it at first too, and Clone Wars, so she had to press all the buttons and magnify his head to find, magnify his head like his X-ray. Yeah, she had. It took her some time to find it too. So there's.
But I mean, the thing is that your brain can be programmed to act in a certain way from a hypnotic trance. That's why hypnotherapy works for people that want to quit smoking. It's sort of a case of the brain goes, click, oh, it's smoking time, but the hypnosis will jump in and go, but you don't actually want to smoke. I don't know if it quite works like that, but it's sort of
it's a good analogy. So
yeah.
I like
it. So the minute the hypnotic suggestion is tripped, which would have been Order 66, the clones would be, I guess you could sort of kept within that trance.
Yeah.
It's it's weird because it seems like they only get in the transmission like Jedi. I remember for the 66 because if you watch the clones, they act just like they were before. If when they're eating and stuff, like it's like they know who they are, they know their name. They're not, you know what I mean. They don't act like a different person. Like when they're in the lunchroom, they're like it's the loser batch or whatever. Like they know who everyone is. That so
Well,
act like themselves, but they're just under the control of the chip.
Yeah,
well,
but I mean, the thing is that it's an increase of certain psychological parameters. You know, sort of like super obedience to the Empire, super aggression. You know,
aggression.
sort of what
Yeah.
they want from the troops. It's not
Mm.
a puppetry mind control where a new personality gets entered into their bodies and the clones are just now puppets on strings.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, sorry. Did you have something else to say?
yeah, no, that's pretty much. I could elaborate more, but there's really not much point. So you continue.
Okay. All right. So, we have strayed away from the predictions part because I just realized that I had asked you about your prediction, and now we're
My
all the way down.
apologies.
It's not your fault. I sort of brought it on us because of my questions and theories. There was one thing I was going to say real quick before I went to the next person, but now I forgot. So we're just going to go ahead and go on to the next person. So Commander Tano, what is your prediction?
I'll try to keep it to predictions. We'll see. It'll be interesting what tangents we get onto with mine. So I think you'll address some of the questions I actually would have brought up, like kind of regarding how the chips work. I think one thing, so at least, so predictions for Crosshair. I think throughout that episode, and I know other people were noticing that there were different points where I was thinking like either when like they had all the stuff kind of fall down the shuttle and he like hit his head, I'm like, he's gonna get a concussion and he's gonna at least briefly realize, kind of be himself a bit.
Have a Wrecker moment.
Or I thought like when he got toasted, by the engine, it's like, okay, that's it. When he, because there are different moments where they took the time to animate and show him clutching his head. There are multiple points in that episode. And so I think, and people were kind of like, oh, why didn't he, flip back? Like, why didn't he change? I think it's kind of just like the inverse of Wrecker in a sense where it's like it was a long process and after like repeated trauma, after repeated traumas before Wrecker finally kind of snapped into full on Order 66 Wrecker. And so I think it was though. It's like they strung it along for a while to kind of give us a little bit of a glimpse of it. Think like, oh, is Wrecker gonna flip now? Oh no, he's fine. So I think we're going to get the inverse of that with Crosshair, where he's going to, at least for a moment, be himself, and he's probably going to be on Camino, and he's probably going to try and get the chip out. And that's where I would say, and this is where I'm kind of confused, and I'm not sure what I predict in terms of Omega, because on the one hand, I kind of see what happening is when Cad Bane's on the way to Camino with Omega, because we still have Fennec Shand out there and whatever other bounty hunters that they want to bring into this season. But at the very minimum, they have her, and either she figures out who has Omega and she's going to try and collect Omega and the bounty, and I, in kind of the mayhem, the Bad Batch will probably get Omega back. I could see some scenario like that, or I could see them actually hiring Fennec to help them out to get Omega back. That could also happen. But I think ultimately Omega has to end up at Camino again because Crosshair needs someone to help get his chip out. And she's Besides, the other members of that, she kind of would be best positioned to do that.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
That
and
is
I think
interesting.
the other interesting situation, and it's like it's not like it hadn't occurred to me, but it's kind of obvious. Like, it's weird how you're going to have these two storylines where you have Crosshair's headed back to Camino, I would assume, and he's going to try and recover. But you have presumably Omega headed back to Camino, but the Empire doesn't know that. The Empire still has no clue where she is, and it's just going to be the Kaminoans who secretly want her back, and for whatever reason. And I have no clue yet, like, because when you all were mentioning kind of like a clone rebellion, I think current developments make that more likely. And I'm trying to figure out what it is about. I don't think it's that the Kaminoans necessarily want a clone rebellion. I don't know if that's why they want Omega back. Although maybe they could. I don't know. Is there so I want to know what on earth are Omega's special powers that they need her back for. It's like that's still not. Other than she can kind of seem to read people's minds almost, maybe. Because that's the thing. Every time you think like, oh, that's like, oh, she's gifted in that way, then they're like, and now it's just luck, or they do something to provide some more just kind of mundane, natural explanation for it. That she's just very observant. It's not that she can read minds; she's just very perceptive. Or it's not that she can shoot; she's a great shot. She just got lucky that one time when she got it right. And so they keep teasing us with that. So.
Yeah.
I don't know, but either way, I think it's like they're both going to end up at Camino. I think he's going to try it. He's going to get a moment finally where he is himself and is going to try and get his chip out, and he's going to need Omega to help him to do that. And maybe they'll try and, I don't know, maybe they'll try and kind of de-chip some more clones. Because they've got a whole hospital facility there. It's like once you de-chip a few, then they can de-chip more, and it kind of could just become an exponential thing, and then you could have a whole clone rebellion.
I mean, the Kaminoans might end up doing that.
They might. Yeah, that's the interesting thing is where the Kaminoans would stand with that, because I think the Kaminoans are more interested in Omega. At least I thought up until this point, as that she has some enhanced special abilities, and they more want to make kind of a marketing pitch to the Empire. It's like, you don't think those clones are good enough? Well, we've got new and improved clones here, and they need Omega's. Yeah, they need Omega's DNA for that for some reason. I thought it was going to be some angle like that.
New and improved, boys.
Yeah.
Just to point out, I mean, earlier in the series, the Kaminoans actually said that the Fett DNA was sort of degrading
of Jango Fett, yeah.
So that's one of the main reasons why they're sort of going, we need to get the second edition out.
Our term is catching on. Hashtag
exactly.
Mary suing, people. Hashtag Mary suing. I love it. I think I'll turn that into a hashtag or something. I don't know.
Is it listed on Urban Dictionary officially? Have we
no. We Commander Tano coined it, and now we use it.
Incredible.
Yes. Yes.
But would it be one word or two?
It's one word because Mary Sue is one. Well, it's technically.
No, Mary Sue's two words.
We'll make it one.
We can make it one.
Because it was coined from a character called was it Lieutenant Mary Sue? So her first name was Mary and her second name was Sue.
Well, when I looked up the name, because I thought I wondered the same thing myself. A lot of people just put the two names together, made it into one. and maybe that's how they do the term. Maybe not the name itself, but the term that they use it for, because it's not even just a name anymore. It's a term
kind of
for
like
a type of
cultural.
character.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe they separate the name from the term by doing that, but I was under the impression that it's just all one word. I don't
It
know.
depends on who you. But yeah, she will be Mary suing the whole planet, and that's what will happen.
Yeah, the Empire
Um,
loses right there.
Yeah, so I definitely
Okay.
think what you all are saying about like a clone rebellion. I think that the latest developments have made that much more likely. I also, what was I going to say? It was going to be something about what you were talking about electronics versus kind of what the chips are. I mean,
Yeah.
we could get a little bit more into that, I would think. I think, see, out of all the people saying like what additional characters, new characters might we see being inserted into this series at some point. That's the thing, we're only like halfway through. That's what's kind of, there's still a lot that could happen.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
they're going to pile in with a whole lot of additional characters. I think if they add any additional characters, I think the most likely possibility is going to be Boba Fett, because I think they may see this
Yeah.
as an opportunity to kind of give us a little bit of that Boba Fett Cad Bane arc. Like, I could see Cad Bane being kind of waylaid by Boba Fett en route to Camino, and I think it's also interesting because it's like, Omega is Boba Fett. Like, you know what I mean? It's like
That's true.
she
Boba
was
Fett. No, Boba
like
Fett has to appear because of Fennec. I forgot about that. He would have to appear because Fennec's in here.
well, I don't think Fennec necessitates that. In fact, I'm not sure if Fennec and they could, I don't know if Boba Fett and Fennec had a past before the Mandalorian. Maybe they knew each other. That's possible. But I think it makes a lot of sense given Omega, like she's going to look at Boba Fett's face and be like, "You're a clone." So yeah, I think that like Boba Fett would be the most appropriate character. If you're going to bring in any additional characters, that would make the most sense.
Boba Fett could be all about the job at first because he considers himself the only son of Jango Fett, but maybe Omega, with her way of talking to people, because she has a way with words, she might end up making Boba Fett feel something different. He might, let's say he talks to her and he's working with Cad Bane. Let's say he's working with Cad Bane. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. And maybe Omega talks to him and maybe he decides that he wants to protest against taking her back. And that's where the Boba Fett versus Cad Bane duel thing happens. That's just an idea of how it can happen, but that could be a way to do it.
I think another reason the Boba Fett edition would make sense to that story is I'm thinking back in terms of the early episodes of Clone Wars where Boba Fett has this like very strong antipathy towards clones. He's like, he is like, I'm the only son of Jango Fett. I am not. You all aren't my brothers. You all aren't me. I don't like you all. And that I think that if he ended up helping out Omega, that would be an interesting development for his character at that juncture.
Yep. Anything else you want to say about predictions or anything like that, or do you want me to move on?
Not really. I'm surprised that all of this happened like halfway through the season. I kind of I was expecting Omega. I figured like Omega would be snatched at some point, but not that early. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go with this.
I was honestly assuming they would do something like this near the end of the season, and that is what would lead to the Clone Rebellion. But then again, maybe it's better that they do it earlier on, because if they are trying to do a Clone Rebellion, maybe they'll pull a Moff Gideon and have him captured or have her captured. They take her DNA and then um, say, okay, we already got her DNA. You can take her, but maybe not turn against him, turn against whoever's after her.
Mm.
You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's multiple ways they can do this, and there's plenty of time between now till the end of the season for them to retrieve her. But that is probably where they will already have the DNA. They will probably start maybe. I don't know if they will produce new clones or maybe they will do something to the current clones they have. That's another thing we haven't really talked about. Is it going to be a completely new batch of clones, or is it going to be like a some basically pull a Captain America with turn them into super soldiers? Basically, I don't not maybe not to the extent of being incredibly strong, but um, but just maybe enhance them a bit in ways that they wouldn't have been before. I mean,
Maybe.
it's a thing to think about, but I doubt that it's going that direction. I feel like it's going to be a new batch of clones type of deal, but the only reason why I have the other one in mind is because they've mentioned before how long it takes to make a fully developed clone, even with age acceleration. So, I mean, to perform a clone rebellion, there would have to be a time skip at some point to that point, and I doubt that they'll do that during season 1.
Yeah, I don't think the reason the Kaminoans want Omega back is so that they can have a clone rebellion. At least the impression I get from the tone that they're going with the series is the Kaminoans are kind of they're opportunistic. They're not they see the clones as property to sell, so I think it's more of they want Omega back because there's something about her that they want to market to the Empire.
That's true. That's true. But if that fails, if they are stubborn, which we know it probably fails because they don't use clones later on, that contingency plan they speak of could be the Clone Rebellion. And then again, that Clone Rebellion might not be in this first season. It might take a couple seasons for that. It probably will, honestly, if we think about it. And there might be a time skip between now and then. So we don't know for sure. I mean, the Clone Wars did a time skip, so why can't Bad Batch?
True.
Because the thing is that was between seasons.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, we'll get the story for this one. Maybe if Cad Bane does take her to Camino, that maybe they do get her DNA and they start working on these new clones. In another season or two, there'll be a time skip or something like that, and then they'll have these clones to market out to the Empire. And if they're still saying no, then that's when the rebellion comes in. Well, we'll go ahead and go on to unless anybody else has anything to say besides Bounty Hunter Network and Psycho, because I'm going to get to them in just a second. But if either of you have anything else to say,
nope.
Nope. Okay. All right. So, I didn't even read that comment. Let me read that real quick. A clone rebellion would not benefit the Kaminoans if it
I agree.
Probably be the work of Hunter and the guy.
I agree.
Yeah. If the Kaminoans were going to start the rebellion, it would be if the Empire decided to, wipe them off the face of the galaxy.
Mm-hmm. And that's probably what will warrant that kind of action. So, I mean, we haven't seen anything that is super definite yet. They've only spoke of a contingency plan. So it just remains to be seen what this will be. But I am I am going to call it. There will be a Clone Rebellion. Just watch. There will be. I'm the master predictor. I can give you examples of my awesome prediction skills, but right
Because
now,
earlier in this episode, we were talking about your predictions.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I got. You know what? Let me tell you how good my prediction skills are. I have a recent example of this, and Chrono knows about it. I think. Yeah, yeah. That I don't know if I told you, Sir Anyway. I don't know if you were on here when I was telling him that. Or at least I'm pretty sure I had this conversation. Yes, the Halo prediction. Okay, so Halo Infinite. There was this tweet that somebody put out saying, what would you want to add to Halo Infinite? And the thing that I said, because they took it out of Halo games after Halo Reach, was prosthetic limbs. And I also gave an exact description of how they would work, because I really wanted this system to be implemented. It adds a bit of grit to the Halo franchise that they lost with Halo 4 and 5. So they, in the reveal that they did recently, they also revealed that we do get prosthetic limbs, and you can get it on every single body part, and I'm talking about arms and legs. You can do like the lower leg. You can do, I think, the foot as well, which I didn't see that part, but I know you can do the hand, which I also mentioned in the tweet. You can do the lower arm. You can do the whole arm. I mentioned all this in the tweet. The entire system of how it works is how I predicted it would work. That's not a joke. I will find the tweet if I can, and I will prove it to you guys if you want me to. But
How does one develop prediction skills?
You just gotta be cool like me.
Dang.
Is it possible to learn this power? Not from a Jedi.
Lord Plagueis. No, I'm joking. No.
I can't do Palpatine's voice, but I can do Sidious' voice at least somewhat decently. But
can you do like his like where he's like slurring his words and he like when he's talking to Anakin?
Which scene is that?
The Jedi taking over.
Oh wait, I'll do that in a second. That's a good one. Those prediction skills could be considered unnatural.
Don't you need to add a somewhat unnatural, isn't it?
Yes. Those prediction skills could be considered unnatural. Is it possible to learn this power? Not from a Jedi. I gotta do the whole thing. Okay, so I have other examples. Maybe when we have more time, I will tell you about all the predictions. I will say one more though, because it's a short one. I also called Star Wars Rebels. I called it by name years before Disney had it, because I think we were like in some of the earlier seasons of the Clone Wars, and I was sitting in a Wendy's. I remember this very, very specifically. We were sitting in a Wendy's, me and my family, because this was a long time ago, and I was, I think, on like one of the bench seats. I'm trying to remember exactly how it went, and I got talking to, I think it was one of my sisters, because me and I know one of my sisters was very interested in the Clone Wars, and I was talking to her and saying what would they do with the next show, because they'll probably end up doing a show in between each era, and I said that they probably won't do one with about the Empire, so they'll probably do one about the Rebels, and I said it'll be called Star Wars Rebels. I can't prove that to you guys, but I seriously said that, and I just have mad prediction skills. You don't have to believe it, but it's true, all of it.
No.
What?
Too bad you don't have the clip for that.
I know I don't. I thought of that as soon as I said it. Okay. I'll tell you guys about my other prediction skills later. Let's move on to Bounty Hunter Network. Do you have any predictions for anything? Maybe next episode, what'll happen there, or just anything in general for Bad Batch?
Yes. I this has been eating at me for a while with Bad Batch. I've been wondering what Omega has, and I think I figured it out. Filoni, you're not smart. No, I'm joking, but no,
No.
I'm joking.
Oh, you're
Shots-
gonna make some people
Shots
mad.
fired!
Cancel
Shots
him!
fired!
Cancel him! Do it!
Watch out, Disney will sue
No,
us.
I'm
Everyone to their
joking.
bunkers.
Do it.
No, but Omega. I want to get into Omega real quick. I think I figured out Filoni's plan for her. You know how all the I'm sorry. No, but Omega's thing, I think I figured it out. Hunter can track records, they all have special powers. I think I figured out Omega's. She has the mind trick she used on the animal or whatever. She made the animal calm down. She can read people's minds. She knows what they're thinking, how they're feeling, even just by being near them. I feel like Omega is a secret clone Jedi. I think Omega has some Force in her. That's why she's so lucky all the time. That's why she calms people down, can read their minds. I think Omega is a Jedi, and I believe she has the Force. I think I think she has powers some people believe to be unnatural. And I think Filoni just needs to come out and do it and say that she is a Jedi. I think there's too many coincidences. Her firing the blaster. Now, I know she's a clone as well, but there's too many things that prove to her being a Jedi and knowing too much about things. Like she could sense it happen already. Like she knows it is about to happen. But I feel like that would be a good one. And also, the Bad Batch dies at the end of this season. I have a pretty
Liar!
Yeah, no, I'm not having that.
Every word of what you just said was wrong.
Liar!
Hey, if Omega becomes a Jedi and the Bad Batch die, just say Nick got it right. Because I feel like how they've been doing these Disney Plus shows, they only have one season. Falcon, Wanda, everyone's had one season. I feel like Bad Batch is going to be one season as well. I started empathizing with the creature. I immediately thought of Ezra's ability to see.
Yes. Yep.
And
That-
Cal
that
did
was
that,
pretty
and
funny.
Cal did that in Jedi Fallen Order, where he interacted with the birds, like calm down, and he was using the Force to calm it down, and then healed the bird on Kashyyyk. So I was thinking, well, she has that. She can read minds. The only people that can read minds are Jedi and Sith. So I was thinking,
Liar!
Well, hang on. Whose mind has she really read?
well, she can sense things. I think as well.
Liar!
Yeah, but I mean the thing is that
That's a gray area. We
Frank-
really haven't had it confirmed.
yeah, frankly,
Uh,
everything, all of her, you could say special abilities, at this present moment can actually, frankly, just be, you're just playing clips. But all of her so-called special ability moments can easily be
Clone,
just associated to A, her being a small child, B, an enhanced clone.
yes.
So it would probably
What are you laughing at?
Chrono.
Oh, we should be able to force Skype with Kyle. Oh, oh, you mean like this over here? Yes.
She's gonna
I want it.
force Skype Boba Fett.
It'll be with Hunter though,
Oh,
and
God.
we'll see Hunter do that.
So yeah, having her force sensitive just, I think, puts it,
I just have a feeling. I don't know.
Too much sort of in sequel territory, I guess.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
It would make it why she's so important, though.
Actually, it would probably ruin the story of the Mandalorian.
It would,
because
no, I'm saying she's dead.
No. But I mean, the thing is that it's sort of one of those cases of if the Kaminoans were already able to do it, why is this Empire dude trying to research it? Why are they trying to get Grogu?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They would have tried to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Making her force sensitive would ruin pretty much most of the direction or the pretty much that would be the Mandalorian.
There's only one way it wouldn't ruin the Mandalorian, and that is if say if that's what they were researching and they were on the verge of kind of cracking the force sensitive clone genome. The only way that would not ruin the Mandalorian continuity is say if they figure it out, but then they get into, you get clone rebellion, they get into a war with the Empire wipes them out. So, because that actually is an interesting thing, like why in general you just don't hear about Kamino after prequel era.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that Kamino, the contingency plan is to get all like the clones. I feel like the contingency plan, I believe you. I feel like there is going to be a clone rebellion, but what about if the plan is just blow up Kamino, destroy the cloning facility?
One thing you also do have to remember about Kamino was that it was off the star maps before it was reintroduced in the prequel movies. It was not something, it was already hidden away. At which point, it's just like, oh, that planet doesn't exist anymore. Oh, wait, hang on, it does exist. Okay. Well, we better change the maps. So, having it sort of go back into, it's no longer on the maps, not much of a stretch.
Yeah. True.
Hence why you wouldn't have heard it during the OT.
That's true.
Yeah, I feel like with much of what's going to happen. Now, I do believe that maybe not all of the members, but I do. Does anyone that either get destroyed or go into hiding? Hard to see. I see one more theory, and I have talked about this with my family because we've watched it together. I think Crosshair dies. I do.
Liar!
I feel like Crosshair.
I don't want that. No. I worry that you're right.
No,
because
you're still holding on. Let go.
I feel like one of them is going to die. No, Crosshair sacrifices himself because he gets the chip out, but he sacrifices himself to prove that he is, truly good again, and he sacrifices himself to save the others. I don't
want that. No, I don't want redemption deaths. No, but you're probably right.
I don't know what else they're going to do. One's going to die, I feel.
Hopefully not.
Maybe that really nice Kaminoan scientist.
They either get destroyed or go into hiding.
I can't remember her name.
Any of those two. He meant the Kaminoan from the Bad Batch.
Oh.
He's probably talking about Lama Su, and I forgot the other one's name, but
Prime Minister.
No, he is Prime Minister. Lama Su is the Prime Minister.
Nala Se is the.
Nala Se, that's it. I keep forgetting that. Did I forget that last stream too? I feel like this is a replay of last stream for me. Yeah. Oh, let me get that off the screen here. Okay. Anything else to say? But dang it, why am I doing that? Oh wait, hold on. That's a new one. But yeah, it's likely Crosshair might die, which I wouldn't like either. I hope that isn't the case. I really hope that isn't the case. At
I,
least,
I think it's probably a little bit too early to have them all die.
oh yeah,
There's probably a few good stories that you can continue with the Bad Batch.
I'm pretty sure they confirmed that it's got multiple seasons. I'm pretty sure they confirmed that. So
Yeah, it's one.
Huh? Okay. So we'll go on to Psycho now and see if he has any predictions for next episode or just further on in the story. Go ahead, Psycho. Tell me what you think.
So I've really been enjoying the show so far. I'm kind of sick. I'm kind of sick of characters going missing and then them going at lengths to find them. It's just like kind of super frustrating to see the all your favorite characters like separated and trying to find one another.
Yeah.
And I just feel like they've done it a lot. But I don't know. I feel like the payoff is going to be good. I feel like the possibility of I started thinking about it as we were talking about it, of Crosshair dying a redemption death at some point, maybe not in this season, but at some point, because I don't know how long they're gonna want to continue to use him as a villain. I think that he's gonna want to try and get that chip out at some point, and I would really like to. I really like the idea of him going to Camino to do that, and then Cad Bane taking Omega to Camino, and then her kind of getting to him. I really do like that idea. I would really like to see that play out. It's really hard to say for me where it's gonna go. I'm kind of just along for the ride.
True. We don't actually know. I mean, except for me, I have master prediction powers, which Chrono wants me to use. See, the thing is, Chrono, great power comes with great responsibility. If I did that, I can't do that to you. I can't do that to anybody.
Tutorial.
It would probably upset me because it's probably whatever's going to happen at the end. It's
not gonna be good.
I want a happy ending. That's the thing. I would like to see a Star Wars story where everyone gets like 100% a happy, mostly happy, at least 90% like happy ending. Not any, because we've gotten redemption deaths, we've had some unhappy endings. That would subvert my expectations to see that. Honestly, if you're gonna do,
wait, Ryan Johnson just showed up. He's ready to subvert those expectations for you.
If he wanted to subvert expectations, that's what he should have done. Give characters a happy ending. It's like, it's not. That would be actually a radical thing to do with storytelling lately. But yeah, no, it's funny. The other day, my mother, because she really likes the Bad Batch, and she was saying, like, she asked me like when is Hunter going to hug Omega? Like, I want all of them to just give her a hug or whatever. She just keeps getting lost. And I'm like, yeah. So yeah, I'd like to see just at some point just some sort of Star Wars story that where all the characters get a happy ending, and we just, they just go off into the sunset or whatever. We don't know what happens after that, but we just know they're happy, and then that's it.
That's kind of
well, we did have that.
Arguably,
we did have that at the at the end of the Return of the Jedi.
We did, and then that was
the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, the sequel trilogy sort of messed that up,
and that's the thing. People may say like Rise of Sky. people will say
Everyone
like,
was happy when it ended the sequel trilogy. Go ahead.
yeah, people will say that happened with the sequel trilogy. Like, oh, there's Rey and BB-8. They're all happy off in the sunset. It's like I didn't feel happy at the end of it. I just felt kind of numb and depressed.
Put that on a shirt, bro.
Everyone died as failures.
Pretty much.
Everyone's legacy is trash. Good.
Yeah. Good thing the Youngling Slayer 3000 is still around. It lasted all through the sequel trilogy until Ray buried it. Dang it! I wanted more.
You know,
I wanted more. There we go. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done interrupting. Go ahead.
I'm done.
Liar!
There's more.
I want them all to be happy. I want happy Star Wars. I want that. It's like we got a little like it's like people would say like, oh, season 2 of The Mandalorian. It's like, yeah, I mean that was pretty good in some respects, but he gave the baby away and
No,
No, you're still holding on! Let go!
so season 1 of Mandalorian is the happy one. They get away, they actually live, except the robot and Queel.
No, it isn't happy. Queel died. The robot died. I'm sad and I'm mad.
It was happy and got Baby Yoda.
I loved the droid. The droid was like one of my favorite characters. Okay.
And I have spoken. Yeah.
Yes.
He was good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I want a happy ending for all.
But actually, hang on. The Mandalorian season 2 ended happily.
it did. That was the best ending.
Grogu now, gets to go to school.
Yeah, and then Kylo Ren did.
The Mandalorian, he allowed his kid to go to school.
Yeah.
And all parents have that forlorn look as their child walks through the school gate and wait, hang on.
Begins.
I don't know about you guys, but my parents were like that. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, guys. I thought of the best friend ever. Baby Yoda, or Grogu, sorry. Remember, Kylo Ren killed all of Luke's students. So does that mean Baby Yoda's dead?
I think that's part of the reason why they created Baby Yoda. It's like what I said earlier with kind of their testing the waters of seeing like, oh, could we contradict this book or this
yes,
or this comic?
Yes, they can do that.
And so they're like, they're basically using Baby Yoda as like a hostage. It's like, if you want to keep this sequel trilogy, then you are killing Baby Yoda, and so it's either either Baby Yoda lives or the sequels live. You can't have both.
I like it. Yep, that's exactly what should happen to the sequel trilogy.
Yep, I'm ready to do it.
Do it. Everyone's ready to do it.
Yep. Well, I don't know. I'm starting to reconsider. I don't know if I can do it now. Oh well. Okay, so I haven't went through my predictions.
More.
Sorry. Wait. What? What did you say?
Sorry,
Huh?
Go. No, sorry, Go.
No, what did you say?
Sorry.
What did you say?
You had to say the cursed word, didn't you?
So.
Oh man. Okay, so I haven't went over my predictions. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I mean, I sort of have. I'm going to stick with just predicting what might happen with the next episode because I've already went into other territories with your guys' conversations. So, I predict for the next episode they're not going straight back to Tatooine, and I doubt Cad Bane will go straight to Tatooine or Tatooine. Did I say Tatooine? Oh gosh, you got Sir AOA. I blame you for this.
This is how much people like Tatooine skincare.
I can't get it out of my mind. You can use that as a testimonial. Okay, but I don't think either party is going straight to Camino. I think that it's going to take a couple episodes for that to happen, which I think Cad Bane will probably reach Camino before Hunter and the rest of the Bad Batch, you know. But I'm predicting that since Hunter is wounded, they're going to probably find somebody to help, you know, I guess. I mean, unless the Bad Batch or I'm guessing either Tech or Echo, you know, can heal him. I'm assuming that they will go somewhere to maybe think of. Okay, no, better way to explain it. Last episode, or the last 2 episodes of The Mandalorian, Grogu was kidnapped. Okay, let's go that route for a second. Let's say they do that because there's a lot of similarities between the 2 shows anyway. The Mandalorian went to find allies that he's previously met. Okay. So I'm guessing that if that is the case, maybe the Bad Batch will maybe try to talk to Rex again, or maybe this could also lead into maybe Fox and Gregor showing up, which would be super cool. I assume that at some point Fox and did I say Fox? I'm stupid. Wolf and Gregor. I'm assuming that both of them will show up in the Bad Batch at least, and maybe not this season. It could be next season. It could be at any point. But I, for one, think that will happen at some point. You can quote me on that. That's going to be one of my predictions for the show.
If all of the predictions that you made in this show tank, I'm not going to believe in your powers.
Look. I'm not always right, but I am partly right a lot of the time. Okay.
That sounds like a very manipulative way to phrase that sentence.
I think you know the answer to that, Chrono. Do I need to spell it out? I hate sand. It's coarse, rough, and irritating. It gets everywhere. I feel like that's a good Anakin impression. All right. So,
I feel like you tried to seduce me right then.
But not like you.
Oh, God.
Don't make me continue it. I'm not doing it. Nope. I'm not doing it. Shut up. Oh, gosh. We'll save that for the Discord. I think we did that last time. We'll save that for the Discord. By the way, since I can't think of anything else to predict, because I basically just predicted the next episode is them going to, like, I guess not hide, but regroup and maybe even think of somebody that could help them get Omega back. No, Chrono, I won't do it. I won't. Good thing nobody else has access to these clips because I know that one of you guys would just be hitting the do it clip every single time now that I said that. I'm glad I'm the only one with these powers. Okay. So I think that they're going to regroup and try to figure out the best way to get Omega back because they know that, or no, they might even try to figure out who Cad Bane is working for. They might not even know who he's working for. I don't know if they said anything about that in the show.
Yeah, they don't know.
They don't know. Okay.
Hunter asked him who's he working for, and Bane was like,
Okay.
"Oh, it's confidential," and yeah.
Oh, okay. And so he's probably assuming it's the Empire. So he's going to try to find a way to find Omega because even the Mandalorian didn't know where Moff Gideon was, but he knew who had taken Grogu, but he didn't know where. So Hunter and the rest of the Bad Batch have two questions: who took Omega, and where? So they're either going to try to talk to people that they think might know some information. Maybe they'll track certain people down. Like, let's say they are able to track down Cad Bane, or maybe he knows somebody that can. That's what I'm thinking next episode will entail for us, because they won't just go straight back to Camino. None of them will. And I'm assuming that Cad Bane won't go straight back there either. I'm just assuming that, because I don't believe that they'll take her straight back this early in the series. There has to be some sort of conflict that happens before that. I mean, I don't know. I'm just making predictions here. But
But you have
I'm huh?
But you have
I'm not
powers.
using my powers right now. I'm just trying to think reasonably right now. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. So if I use my powers, then I'm
Then
spoiling
we're
it.
entering spoiler territory, essentially.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't like spoiling things for myself, much less anybody else. You know how I am with spoilers. You should, especially you. You should know that. All right. So there was one other thing, because that's my prediction. So that's basically all that I've got to talk about for tonight. Let me think. There was one thing I wanted to say though before the end of this, but I don't remember what it was. I don't know. Okay, well, does anybody else have anything else to say about this before we start ending this episode of Star Wars Topics?
I'm personally in love with each and every one of you.
Aww.
Aww.
Liar!
We just had a moment. And chat. Everyone in the chat. Chrono. Everybody. I'm personally in love with all of you.
Yes, I'm sure, Chrono. I'm sure. Look, you seem to be the one that's most interested in my powers. If I come up with something, I might tell you first, just because you seem to be the most interested right now. Because you keep asking. All
Yeah,
right.
no, see, the thing is that I think he's looking for predictions on like lottery numbers.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, I see how it is, Chrono. I see how it is. Now I see through the lies of the Jedi. All right. Well, if nobody else has got anything else to say, we can go ahead and start ending this stream, which will take another hour because I'm terrible at doing this kind of thing. Wait. Are you ready? I assume you're ready.
No.
The silence is very telling. What, you said you are? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, look, Chrono. I'm glad you did that. That makes my night. Playing these clips is probably the most fun part about being the host of the streams, and the fact that you give me this power to do so just makes me happy. It makes me very happy. And you know what? You get another one of these, Chrono. Well, if he'll play it, there you go. No, it still didn't do it. Here you go.
Good job.
There you go, Chrono. That's for you. You got two of them. You did better than everybody else here. Nobody else got any of those. You're special. All right. I'm being weird now. You can tell I'm tired.
Now?
And, huh? Did you just
Now?
Oh, I see. Okay. You're dissing me now, huh? Is that what this is? Is that what this is, huh?
No.
Yeah,
I'm just
Oh,
asking
no,
you to be
you're not.
honest with yourself.
I'm completely honest with myself. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm totally not the weirdest person on this stream. Much less. The
Oh
weirdest
yeah, no,
host
that's
you've probably
definitely
ever seen.
not true. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you for the compliment.
Every word of what you just said was wrong.
Yeah. I told you the ending the stream will probably take 2 hours. No, 1 hour. I said 1 hour, but now it's probably 2 because of. Okay, no, I'm serious
Four
now.
for four.
I'm serious.
4 for 4.
No, we're not even at 3 yet, and I'm not doing no other hour. Okay, I got a life. I have to be in bed by 11 o'clock, so I got a couple things I got to do before I go to bed.
Drinking
So-
game. How many times you end this stream?
Well, somebody's gonna
I
be
do have
drunk
some
by the
Captain
end of the
Morgans
night, if
at
that's
my
the case.
at my feet. So yeah, let's get this started.
Oh, no, Pringles didn't want to sponsor me this time, unfortunately. But we do have. You know what? Let's have one more word from our sponsor before we end this, just so you guys know who's sponsoring us. They're a wonderful sponsor, and we know a couple people that wished that they had this, but they ended up being burnt on the ground, and one more person that had recently felt the burn, but it was of his own doing because he wants to take in the Bad Batch. So if he had this, he wouldn't be burnt to a crisp. And you know what? Let's talk about Anakin too. I bet his skin would have been flawless even after burning alive. That this product that has sponsored us is that powerful. So go ahead, sir. Anyway, sponsor. Tell us who our sponsor is.
Today's sponsor for the Force Collective was Tatooine Skincare Cream. If you find yourself with the potential to be burnt by harsh radiation, make sure you grab this product from your nearest Jawa Sandcrawler retailer. Will not protect you from magma. Back to you, Shay.
Oh, well, Anakin, I guess, wouldn't have benefited since it doesn't protect you from magma. That's right. Dang it, I forgot about that little underlying text, or not text, but that little phrase at the end because you say it so fast. And I think that's why a lot of commercials do that. Like legitly, they do that so quickly because first of all, they don't want to be liable, but they also don't want to scare you out of buying their product. So, okay, but we are seriously going to end the stream now. So it has been. Don't say anything. It has been fun, and I hear you laughing. I do not appreciate this. You're distracting me even more. Stop it. I can't do this. I feel too much pressure. All right. That's it. We're done. No. Why? That just came out of nowhere. You're trying to prolong this till 3 hours, aren't you? Uh-huh. You're trying to prolong this to 3 hours, aren't you? Yeah, that's what I thought. All right.
Would I do that?
Yes, you would. I'm not responding to you anymore. You can talk all you want. I'm just going to talk over you. I'm going to ignore you. Right? Do you understand? Actually, you know what? I'm going to mute you. How about that? What do you think about that? Oh, wait, you can't say anything. You're muted. I'm sorry. I can't do that to you, though. I'm sorry. But I keep saying this, but seriously, we got to end this, okay? We got to do this, okay? Wait. Come on, really? Okay. All right. So this is the end. This right here is the end at 2 hours, 53 minutes, and 10 seconds. That is the end, okay? All right. If you enjoyed this, you can leave a like. Maybe even comment down below saying what you enjoyed most. Maybe how stupid I am, because sometimes I'm just plain out stupid in these streams. And by stupid, I mean crazy, because I play a lot of these stupid clips all the time. Or maybe you can talk about our sponsor, which was actually Sir AOA's idea. It was a really good idea, and I really appreciate the comedy that he has brought to the stream. besides my awesome clip management here. Also, I'll let Psycho take care of this part. Tell us, Psycho, what are we doing with our lives if we're not in the Discord?
What are we doing with our lives?
That's
Am
a
I
great
supposed to be
question.
plugging something?
Our Discord.
Oh. So we're always in the Discord at all times. So
Yes.
you can check it out down below in the Discord. We're always there at all times. And
Yep.
if we're not streaming, we're in the Discord. And also if we're streaming, we're in the Discord. So we're gonna be in the Discord at all times. Discord is the second official sponsor of this stream. Not really, but maybe they'll pay us eventually. But for sure.
That'd be great.
I don't have anything else to add. Thank you guys for tuning in, and may the force be with you always.
Yes. Thank you, Sir AOA and Commander Tano as well for joining in. It's been fun. And Bounty Hunter Network. He left early, but if he ever rewatches this or anything like that, thank you, Bounty Hunter Network, for joining in. All right. It's been great. Thank you guys for watching. And we will see you all. And whoever's dog is barking, we will see that dog later too. Okay. Goodbye. Well, never mind. I can't say goodbye until I get the outro. Dang it. I'm forgetting things. I told you. All right. Now, may the force be with you. Always.